I platinumed the last case of Benedict Fox and it was a nightmare. If you do enjoy this video, leave a like and also leave a comment on what other games you want to see me platinum in the future. And let's get right into this platinum. So this is a Metroidvania puzzle game where you have to investigate the memories of two people who have died, whilst also trying to find clues and defeating bosses. So we start off with our first trophy for completing the tutorial, Veni. After a bit more of an introduction to the game, we then find our first collectible and we actually get a trophy for finding this. There is plenty of collectibles in this game, so this is the first of many. So we first start off with entering the memories of our dead father, and this is the main part of the game where we enter a parallel universe, investigating how he died and what has happened, and we earn a trophy for descending into the limbo. After entering another part of the memories and finding our first enemy of the game, once we kill him, we then unlock our first anchor, and we also get a trophy for unlocking this as well. This is one way to get around the map easily and effectively, as there is a lot of collectibles in this game and a lot of back and forth to find them all. We then enter the library for our first boss battle of the game. This did take me a couple of attempts, as it was quite hard to get used to what I needed to do, but eventually we then defeat the librarian. A couple of the enemies in this game did cause me a couple of issues, so that's one of the reasons this game was a nightmare, but we do get the trophy for defeating the librarian. There's two types of currency in this game. One is used for upgrading and buying our equipment, and the other one is to upgrade our tattoos, which gives you new abilities in the game. And we get our next trophy for buying our first upgrade for one of our items. We then get our next trophy quite quickly after this, and at this point in the game there is only 3 items to buy, but later in the game there is more items that become available which help us towards that platinum trophy. And pretty much straight away in the next room along in the house, using our ink that we have collected, we get our first tattoo from the tattooist. I have to say this is one of the most annoying parts of the game, as every time you get a tattoo, the character screams the exact same way every time. And because you need to get every tattoo in the game, you hear this quite a lot. Due to the amount of collectibles in this game and the amount of back and forth to unlock new areas and find all the collectibles, I had to watch a guide, so shout out to the Welsh Hunter for providing a guide to this game. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. It was a massive help, and if I followed it from the start, I would have got this platinum done so much quicker. But now we get our next trophy for using a smoke bomb for the first time, which is one of the items we bought from the shop earlier. We then come across our first camp of the game, so after defeating the 2 enemies, we then have to unlock this wheel lock, which is one of the many puzzles in this game. And unfortunately, after using the guide to unlock this wheel lock, we then earn our next trophy for clearing out the first camp. Unfortunately for the next trophy, I wasn't recording, but I did manage to get this screenshot of earning the trophy for slamming through the floor for the first time. We then have this device called the conundrum device, which is used to solve some puzzles in the game, and after finding the 2 parts required to fully upgrade it, we do get a trophy for doing this. This will help us do more puzzles further into the game, which will open more parts of the map to find more collectibles, which will help us towards that platinum trophy. Now moving back to the shop, we get our next trophy for fully upgrading 1 item. The first item that we upgraded fully was the miracle water, which allows us to heal quicker and more effectively during the battles, which is definitely required moving further into the game, fighting more of the bosses. And speaking of bosses, we then move on to our second boss battle of the game against the loneliness. This one was just running to the side, avoiding all the obstacles that were in our way, and once we reached the end and escaped, we got a trophy alone together for defeating the loneliness. So now at this point of the game, we meet a new character called Thomas. Thomas becomes more prevalent at near the end of the game, and you'll see why later in the video. But during this playthrough, one of the trophies that we're aiming for is not skipping any of the cutscenes. So when any of the cutscenes show up, I have to watch them all, otherwise you will not earn that platinum trophy and we'll have to play the game all over again, as this only pops at the very end after they end credits. We then move on to another puzzle that's in the game, the Kogai doors, and we get a trophy for unlocking our first one. I'm a locksmith and I'm a locksmith. And just a bit further on in the map, we come up to this 7-element Kogai door and we get another trophy for unlocking this one. This is probably the easiest puzzle in the game, as you only have to press the corresponding buttons as what's on the screen. Next 3 trophies we get are very easy combat trophies. The first one was for slowing an enemy down, the second one was for sliding into an enemy and knocking them down, and the third one was for catching an enemy in a trap. These are all natural trophies you'll earn during your playthrough as you upgrade your character. Another easy and natural trophy that we got was for fully upgrading every item that we bought in the shop. The next trophy was a collectible trophy relating to collecting all the notes for the Conundrum device. This is one of the trophies I definitely needed the guide for. We then start our third boss battle, which was against the old spider. So for this one, it was a stealth boss battle where you had to stay out of the red light, otherwise you'd get caught and you'd have to restart again. So for completing that mission, we get our next trophy, Kill It With Fire, for defeating the old spider. And after listening to that scream so many times, we finally get our last tattoo and a trophy for doing so, the canvas, for fully upgrading our character. Getting towards the end of the game now, we get our next trophy for clearing out all the camps within the game. There's quite a few collectible trophies in this game, and we get another one here for listening to all of the shellac records. There is 6 in total that you need to find throughout the map. So there is a point of no return in this game, and this is the last trophy we needed before getting there, which was jumping into a secret place. Once you reach the point of no return, you need 27 out of the 33 trophies. If you haven't got 27, you need to go back and clean up. Before you enter the point of no return, you do get a message to let you know that this is the point you have reached. But we get our next trophy for unlocking all the anchors just as we get past this point. We then enter the next sort of boss battle, which is the Mirage, and we get our next trophy, Smoke and Mirrors, for doing this. This one was quite annoying, and I also needed the guides for this trophy. And now entering the final boss battle of the game, this one being against Thomas, and this one I had to use the guide because I didn't have a clue what to do, so you need to use the gold arrow and fire it at Thomas. Once you've done that, a cutscene plays out, which remember you can't skip, so you have to watch it all, and once we've watched it all, we then get our next trophy, the bigger they are, for defeating Thomas, and we also get Vidi for completing the game. After watching all the credits and a little teaser at the end, which lasted about 5 or 6 minutes, we finally get the trophy for not skipping any of the cutscenes, You Can't Make Me, and I was so relieved when this popped and I didn't accidentally skip any of the cutscenes during the game. And after this popped, we finally get the Platinum trophy, a miracle, and it was a miracle that I made it through this game. This game normally takes about 4 or 5 hours to Platinum, and it took me around 20 hours. This is why I needed a guide, and I definitely won't be playing a game like this ever again. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like, and also leave a comment down below on what other games you want to see me Platinum in the future. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.